Well, it's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm here by myself these days. Karen's over, and Karen went to visit some family in Texas. So I went out in the woods yesterday, drove around in some roads I haven't been on in years, and failed to bring my chainsaw along with me. So today we're going out in the woods again. Today I've got my chainsaw with me. So there were some roads that definitely needed a chainsaw. There's some spots I had to turn around and go back. Some trees were too big for me to cut, but today I'm going to go to a different area, so we'll see what we see. First stop, a necessary evil. Our town is slowly coming back to life after the fire. The Dixie Fire just wiped it out. So, slowly coming back. This is Round Valley Lake, Round Valley Reservoir, to be completely accurate. There's a road that goes all the way around this lake. It used to be beautiful. You can see how the fire just ripped out the lodgepole. There was all a lodgepole stand over there. It was beautiful. This hillside was a lot prettier back in the day. The fire, when Dixie Fire, and I don't want to get started on this, but when the Dixie Fire came through, it was hung up in these hills up here for days, and they failed to do anything about it. And then when it finally made a run down into town, it just took out the town. There's lots of bluegills in this lake. I don't know if you can see them in the video, but there's lots of them in the water. This is a great place to take kids if you want to take them fishing and guarantee they're going to catch fish. This is definitely the place to do it. The road on this side of the lake is paved, and there's a little picnic area down here. I don't think it's a campground, it's more of a picnic area. There's a Forest Service bathroom down here too. Well, it seems like somebody's camping in the picnic area, but I guess that's not a problem. The Forest Service doesn't get out much these days. There used to be a little resort back here where they used to rent boats. It was a little rowboat, and you could row it out, and there's really good bass fishing in that lake, and as well as the crappie and bluegill. But actually, Round Valley Reservoir actually had the lake record, or the state record for a short time. But anyway, the place down here, they used to rent boats. They don't do it anymore, but I don't know what they do. I don't think they're not in business anymore as a business. But here's the old dock. My son and I drove all the way over here from Susanville and went fishing a couple times. And they've got the old boats sitting out here with flowers planted in them. There's one right there. Those are the boats they used to rent. There's another one of the old boats they used to rent. It's got a sticker of 1991 on it, so kind of dates it. But anyway, that's what they did with the boats when they got out of the rental business. Probably the people that own the place sold out. I just took a little spur road that I saw come up here. Looks like it, I don't know where it goes. There was one that went up to some private property. I think that's the one I'm on. Yeah, I think this was that spur road that used to come up into private. It looks like they've added on to it because it goes farther up than it used to. I can see there's some trees. There's a tree down across the road up there. I'm not going to try to go up that. So, good place to turn around. We're going to go up toward the Cherokee Mine, though, in a minute. A lot of snow plant this year. Okay, these are the remains of the Cherokee Mine. I'll have to look up the Cherokee Mine and get some information on it. It's a pretty old mine. It was a long time ago when they mined here. You can tell by the size of the trees that grew up through the, looks like with a water tank there or something. There's all kinds of concrete foundations here where they had a processing plant, I'm guessing. The hillside up here, this all used to be covered with forest. Obviously, you can see the dead trees, but there's some mine shaft activity back up there that we found. We've looked through this whole area in the past. I've never made a video on it before, and it's an interesting mine site. Doesn't have any buildings left or anything like that. Oh, that's a long ways down. Come here, Mo. I don't want him getting too close to the edge. Look at the amount of concrete work they did, though. These are pretty good sized buttresses. There's also a foundation over here. Probably was a building of some sort. Might not be able to see it now because it's all overgrown. Ever since the fire burned through here, it released all the brush. It rained last night. We had about 3/10 of an inch or 3/100 of an inch of rain, and everything's pretty wet. Looks like there might be a mine shaft or something. There's a foundation over here somewhere, but I'm not going to walk through the brush to get to it. But I will go down below the concrete, show you what that looks like. This whole area has been worked. I mean, there's disturbed ground everywhere up here, and so I'm guessing they were looking for gold. I think that was the primary mineral that they were looking for in this area. So interesting concrete work. This is obviously round. Tells me that was a tank, probably a water tank, and I'm guessing those are like those holes there look like maybe where there was bolts or something when they poured the concrete in there. Probably a metal tank of some sort. There's a fair amount of quartz here, which is an indicator of what mineral they were probably going for. There's a lot of copper mining in this area too, but I'm thinking this is probably gold. See, this is like looks like it was a concrete slab at one time and it collapsed. Some sort of, I don't know if it was just a slab or if there's more to it than that. This is we were just up on top. It'd be a long way to fall if Mr. Mo was to fall off of that. But a lot of concrete work. Well, here's something I never noticed before, and I've been up here quite a few times. There's actually steps going down here. I've been here, can't remember the amount of times I've been up here. I don't remember ever seeing the steps, so that's an interesting thing. So that tells me that something was down here underneath. Because this little channel here looks like it was, as they process things, I'm guessing this channel either drained off water or slurry or something in here. So that's part of the fun about these old mining areas, is trying to figure out what they did and how they did it, what things were for. since the fire, there's lots of what we call reproduction. All these little trees are coming back. And there's a fair amount of overstory that didn't burn, which is reseeding everything that's on the ground. But you can see by all the little trees, this used to be a really thick area to walk through because there was all these little trees. It was a heavy forest. So this is the first time I've been here since it burned. So burned in 2021, so this is 2026. So that was 5 years ago. This road I'm walking down, by the way, is the Cherokee Mine Road, aptly named. And it actually goes over the mountain and comes down on the other side. It's gated because it's mostly owned by the Chai. There's the Chai Company is one of them. Probably SPI is probably another one that owns a lot of the land up in here. And then there's some Forest Service mixed in, but there's a gate up this road that used to be locked. Since the fire, it doesn't seem like they lock it anymore. I'm not sure. I haven't been up there lately. In fact, I might drive up there and take a look, see if the gate's closed. But this road, actually, you can go all the way through and you can come out on the other side. It actually comes up above my wife's property. She has some property up there that burned up in the Dixie Fire. If you watch any of my Dixie Fire videos, you saw some of her property after it was burned. And so this road goes all the way over and comes out right above her property line, goes almost right up to this road. So it's now I'll take a drive up there and see if the gate's open. We have a nice little drive through the trees here. Down in these drainages, they didn't burn very hot usually, and that's what happened here. The green trees, a lot of green trees made it through here, so fire burned underneath, but it didn't really make any runs through here. Okay, this is the top. There's a road that goes to the left here that I've been up a little ways, but I didn't go very far. But this is the main road, and this is the one that usually has the gate on it. Let's see, I think it's down here. I haven't been up here in a long time, so this is if this is it. It's kind of overgrown. I think this is the one with the gate. Let's check it out. This isn't very well maintained road. I decided to walk down here because I started driving down here, but it's a little overgrown and I'm half afraid there's going to be a tree across the road somewhere up here. So there's no use backing out. So I just walk down here. I can use the exercise anyway. Now here's something interesting. This little thing that I just picked up, threw down, is a parasite that feeds off of the pine trees. It's called dwarf mistletoe. I spent a whole summer, my first summer at the Forest Service, I spent pruning dwarf mistletoe. And but anyway, it's a parasite that grows on the, you'll see it on the limbs of these trees. That's not the mistletoe you stand under at Christmas. I don't see any right now. There's a little bit. There's a clump up there in the top of that tree. That's dwarf mistletoe. Anyway, trimming that stuff was an interesting summer. I was up in the woods yesterday too, and I noticed that ceanothus. This is a we call this a deer brush, but it's also a ceanothus. Ooh, we got bees around here. It's a species of ceanothus. Anyway, it's a very smelly. Smells very good, and as you walk down the road here, it's both sides of the road, so it smells great. You can see there's no tracks on this road. Nobody's been on it for quite some time. And it's likely that there's obviously going to be trees across it somewhere along the line because nobody's been on it. So any of these dead trees that fell over are going to be on across the road if they fell this way. So But this used to, I've driven this all the way through. The downside of this road is that if this gate's open, yeah, there's a tree down right up there. If this gate's open, you can go through this gate, and then it's several miles of windy, slow-going road. And then the other end, there's another gate. And if that gate's locked, and I've had that happen to me, this gate was open, the other one was locked. So now we had to backtrack all the way back out here. Well, I'm surprised the gate is either gone, or I could have missed it in the brush. But as I recall, it was right near the top of the hill, so I haven't seen it. See, this is exactly why I brought my saw, which I did do today. And so, broke off right there. If I was going to try to drive this, I definitely would be using it on this. Oh, nice view of the valley, though. Even though it's all dead, I guess the upside of having all the trees dead is that you can see the valley. If there is an upside. I found this little shoe fly road that I've never seen before, and so this is going in an area I've never been. This is the area, this is one area around the lake that didn't burn, obviously. So, pretty nice. Oh man, now look at this. Somebody dumped, looks like a refrigerator out here. Man, I'm telling you, some people are slobs. I just don't get it. Look, take it to the dump. It's not that big a deal. You know, it doesn't even cost you that much. Come on. This is a great little road. I'm so glad I saw this. So far, no trees across it either. How about up on the main road again? I had to bail on that little shoe fly road. It went through a mud hole that I looked at, and I didn't want to go through that. So I bailed on it, came back up here to the main road. I'm looking for a little road that I found years ago that goes up to some mining ruins, and I don't know if this is it, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter because there's a big tree across there. I'm going to have to get out and walk up there, see if this is it. It sure is pretty up here. You see the red snow flowers, snow plants. Anyway, the road kind of goes up this way. The snow plants, little splashes of red everywhere. Not everywhere, but when you see it, it's nice and it's in the sun. So walking up the road, it continues on up. I didn't, there wasn't anything across the road to keep me from driving up here, but since I walked this far, I figured I might as well just walk the rest of the way. We'll see how far it is. Well, this is why I brought my saw. I'm not going to cut this because that other one up there is bigger. Looks like a cedar. This one here I can move out of. I could cut that up and move it. This one too. And this one I probably could also. It's not that big a diameter, but who knows how many more there are on this road. So maybe I'm going to scrap this idea or go look for another road. This might not be it. I can't remember how far it was. Didn't seem like it was this far. Okay, well, this is the saddle. Apparently it goes a little farther. Don't know if I'm going to drive up that. Anyway, we just came up from down there. And then this is, I don't think this goes anywhere. Got ants on me here. I don't think that goes anyplace. But this one, this is the one I came up here for. This one goes down. I've driven down this before in this old Jeep, but I don't know if I want to do that today. Anyway, this road goes down and it goes down here, and there's some old mining relics down in here. We found it before. There's a mine shaft and some bed frames and some other things. And I don't know, I was curious to see what the fire did to this, so I'm going to take a walk down that way. The road's a little overgrown. This is beautiful broadleaf maple. That's really pretty. Incidentally, they're talking about maybe a chance of thunderstorms today, and those are the kind of buildups you want to see if you're expecting, or if you want to have thunderstorms. or if you're expecting them, that's the kind of stuff you look for. Mo thought he saw something, maybe a lizard. He's on it, boy. This is where I turned the Jeep around last time, so it's still doable. I guess I could have drove the Jeep down here. I could have easily have turned around here. So from here on, the road is so bad though. We just walked from here, from that place where I turned around on. You can see this is the ATV trail now. You wouldn't, if you really were ballsy, you could drive a four-wheel drive vehicle like a Jeep down here, but boy, I'd be real careful. The way this is sloped, you end up, if you slipped off the road, it'd be hard to get anybody to help you. The road just kind of peters out here. This part starts looking like a road again. That's a pretty view, isn't it? Looking down that road. Anyway, here's that mine shaft. I didn't bring any flashlight, but that's the same problem I had last time I was here, but it's looking like it's pretty well filled in, so I'm not guessing there'll be any reason to go in there. You can see some veins of quartz in the rock, so it's probably what they were prospecting for. Down here in this little glade is just below the mine shaft, and this is where you start finding stuff. There's some railroad ties. I'm walking down like looks like an old road. Looks like it goes up and ties into that main road that I walked down. So this is I'm really happy that this didn't burn in the fire, because I really thought fire got in here, and it didn't apparently. It doesn't look like it ever burned. So I'm glad, because there's lots of artifacts down here. Even though if it had burned, you'd probably found more, but I like them in their natural habitat. I can see fire did get in here because some of the logs are burned. And here's some those railroad ties, some straps, looks like metal straps. There's also the Forest Service obviously knows about this place, because here's their area controlled sign. This is what they put up when there's an archaeological site. So, stovepipe right there. Well, this is why I came here. I wanted to see if this got burned, and it didn't. See, here's the old bed frame. That's a bed frame right there. Boy, it's stuck to the ground. It's got stuff growing through it. So this must have been their little camp when they were working that mine. So still nice to find stuff like this out here, and nice to see it didn't get burned up like all the rest of the historical places I used to go to, take people to all the time. We're back at the Jeep, and I'm going to walk up this hill. I'll show you what's up there. We drove up this last time. I just wanted more exercise today. Well, okay, I'm surprised. There was something up here last time we were here that was radio related, I would say. It was sitting right over here. I don't see any evidence of it either. That's weird. There's Indian Valley in all its glory. This is Crescent Mills down here in the bottom. Taylorsville's way up at the head to the right there. And Greenville is around the corner, around that corner, following the meadow up. That's where Greenville is located. Real purty. It was purty before the fire, but I don't think you could see as far, because with the trees gone, you can sure see better. That canyon, that one we just walked up, is down here. You can kind of see the road going across there. Oh, I didn't show you back this way. This is beautiful. That's Round Valley Reservoir, where we were a little while ago. That road that we're going to take is right down here. You know, this is all well and fun, but you know what? I miss my adventure partner. She's in Texas right now, so I'm wishing you were here, Karen. I love you. Well, I flew out that road, and that road continues on up. I think I've been out there before, but I just don't feel like going out there today. There's another road I want to go to. So, but anyway, I flew out there and looked at it. It looks like it goes out there quite a ways. Going down's just as pretty as going up, huh? This area up here is where a whole bunch of roads come together. This one down here that comes up from the Highway 70, that's the one we're going to take. And there's one back over here that I came back on when I took that little shoot fly road today. And then this one back here is the one I came down to come here that goes back toward Round Valley Reservoir. So anyway, a bunch of roads come together right here, so you got choices. Well, there's that. I don't know, I might cut that out of there. Although I might walk up there and see if this is the spot I'm thinking about. Years ago, Karen and I drove up this road, obviously before it all burned off, and we found a prospect up here, a quartz outcropping that people have been digging on. That's what I was trying to get to, and it was out here on this road. I'm thinking it's up this, it might be just up a little ways. I'm going to walk up there and see, but I could cut this out of there and continue on. This looks like it might be the end of the road here, which makes me wonder where that quartz outcropping was. Unless it continues this way. Oh, look at those pretty flowers blooming. Those are, Karen calls those Washington lilies. I think that's what they are. They're still blooming. We found lots of them blooming earlier this year. I see some quartz on the ground, so there must be, that quartz mine must be around here somewhere. This area that you see back in here is all, it's all private. But this is obviously not the spot I was thinking about. Huh. I'll have to look at that, look and see if I can find that on the satellite view. Yeah, no quartz outcroppings down here. This just goes down to the bottom of this cut unit. Still pretty down here though. There's quite a few green trees, a lot of underbrush, a lot of deer brush. Anyway, it's been a fun day out exploring roads that I haven't been on in a while. I did that yesterday, and today I brought my saw, but haven't really had several places I could have used it, but not really. These roads don't need to be opened anyway, so not gonna do it. Anyway, it's been a fun day. Unfortunately, I'm missing my lady. She's my adventure partner. So she's in Texas. When she gets home, I'll have to bring her up here in a couple of these places that I went to yesterday, maybe some today. So I think I'll end this video here, heading back to the barn. By the way, this is all, every place I've been today is in my backyard. And one of the things I love about living around here, even though the Dixie Fire kind of did a number on it, there's still a lot of pretty spots out here. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.